joining us early on in our series about people making bold moves. We really believe that when you make bold moves, it inspires other people around you to make bold moves. And what you're doing is really helping to change people's lives. Can you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what you do?
Sure. My name is Ingrid Clay. What do I do? I am a trainer, a fitness instructor. I do classes at Barry's Boot Camp. I'm also a bodybuilder. I'm a private trainer. I am also a vegan bodybuilder and a plant-based chef. I think that's it.
Yeah. But you do something a little special. You call yourself not just a fitness trainer, but
a sculptor.
Yes.
I mean, I consider myself a sculptor. I think I sculpt bodies as opposed to just training the client. So I guess I listen to their, I take what their goals and stuff, and what they want to look like, and then I really step back and I look at them and I get to work. I think of everyone kind of like clay, and then they come with their frame, and then it's my job to kind of like shade in a little detail, cut it up, do this, do all of that, and then but it's all from them, so it's nothing added to them, it's nothing taken away. It's just taking what they have and finding that body that they desire underneath, so to speak. Yeah, because through bodybuilding you learn a lot about sculpting. And it's kind of like on stage too, some of it is an illusion. So you learn how to stand for the best view of you, basically. So like I tend to be a little bit quad dominant. So there's no way I would stand with my quads together, because that's just like quads, like it just, it makes it look bigger. So you give like a little separation and a little turn, and then it kind of like makes it a little leaner.
So each person's stance is going to be different for them.
Yeah, it goes based on your body type, which, how you show the best you. And I think I take that same theory to my clients. Let's show you the best you that you can be, instead of something, people will bring you like a picture of what they want their body to look like. No. So we're going to just do the best you. I don't know who this person is, neither do you. And I mean, in the world of like Photoshop and all that, like, come on, like let's just work on you and find the best you. And I think you're gonna be a lot happier with that than trying to strive for someone else's best.
Yeah. You have sculpted your life in a very unique way. Can you talk a little bit about your path here?
Sure. I started off as an engineer. I was a electrical engineer and physics major, and I worked for Gillette for a while as an engineer, and then I got my MBA and I became like program manager there, and I got into program management, and then I left Gillette, and I found myself, I've had a job since I was like 10, so I've always like worked. I never felt what it was like not to like have a job until like I left Gillette, and there was like it was like quiet, like there was like nothing. I wasn't doing anything, and it was like it was a little unnerving to me. It was the only time where I felt like a little like useless in a sense, you know what I mean? And I just got married, and I was like, I do not want to be a stay-at-home wife. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but for me, I was just like, bored out of my mind. And I had also gained weight too when I was working at Gillette, and for me, it was like the biggest I had ever been. And what I did was I actually wrote myself a program. I did a lot of research prior to on like macros and like leaning out and losing weight, and trying to figure out what the best plan would be for me. So I wrote a program to figure out my macros, and like macros are like your percentage of protein, fat, and carbs. And so I put basically my weight and what I was doing to work out and everything in that, and I started to lean out. It was a couple of trials with it, but I leaned out. I got like super small, but super skinny, and it was kind of like, like I wanted a little more muscle mass. So then I started tweaking it to do that instead, and then I did it for my husband at the time, and then I did it for like people in the neighborhood, and everyone started to like lean out and I was like, oh, this is this works. And then I started applying. We moved here, and I started applying it to clients here, and it's been life-changing for a lot of the people I've worked with. And I never thought it would. I was just doing it for me. I was getting it. And so, you know, that's what I use now for my clientele, to figure out their their meal plans, and then I also cook for them too sometimes. But
how did shaping your body change the way you showed up in the world?
Well, I guess I decided, I was in the middle of a divorce, and I was in the middle of a divorce, and kind of like also had gotten myself involved in a, you know, kind of abusive relationship as well. And I was in the tail end of that, and I was working part-time training clients, and then I was also still working as a bartender, because it was before, you know, my training, you know, took over, and I was able to, you know, live on just training. And I met my now trainer at the bartender. He was like, what are you doing with all this? And I was like, what do you mean what I'm doing with all this? This is a bad pickup line. Yeah. You know, and he was like, I mean, you should be competing. He's like, your body is amazing. And I was like, you know, he's trying to hit on me. And so, you know, I don't know what made me call him, but I did. And I was like, look, I just want to get in the best shape ever. You know, I think when you go through things like that, you know, the divorce was, you know, bad. You're at your lowest point. And so when you're at your lowest point, you're not going to meet someone really that's here. You know, so you know, I met someone that was at a low point, that wasn't very good. And so I've never ever been the woman where people would be like, you would be in an abusive relationship, you know, because you know, you carry yourself a certain way, and people think you're so strong, but like at that point in time, I was not that person. I don't know who I was, to be honest. I had kind of I don't know who I was. Like, I was just a little lost. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I started training with my trainer, and I always tell him this, like, even now, I'm like, great, I'm gonna cry. But I always tell, like, you brought me back. Fitness, it brought me back. Like, you know, I found myself. I found my strength. I found who I really was again. And I even made that person stronger. And, you know, I really found my peace with everything, and acceptance for it, and a forgiveness for it. And I think that was important. I didn't carry it with me. I wasn't afraid anymore either, which was a huge thing. I didn't walk around scared, you know, because for a long time I was like afraid to go out. I was afraid to do anything, you know. I would train my clients like away so that I wouldn't have to run into anyone, or because I was really, you know, afraid. And I feel like fitness really created a safe place for me. It was like, it's meditative when I work out. I go somewhere else. I don't know. It's, you know, you go through the motions. Everything just works as it should. And it's my like getaway. And people are always like, let me work out with you. It's the only time I have all day to myself. And you know, that 1 hour is all I get from me. And it's my time. And it's my energy. And it's like my thing. It's my time to think or be creative or not to think. You know, that's my time, and I cherish it, and I hold it dear. And I think for my clients, it's and what I give them, and even like clients that, you know, that I teach in group fitness or clients one-on-one, this is your time. How do you want to use it? How do you want to better yourself in this time? Like, what's your intention for this workout? Set it. It can be very simple. To sweat more, you know, to lift 5 pounds heavier, you know, whatever it is, set your intention for it and just kill it, crush it each time. Yeah. And you know, and it'll change every time. But you know, this is it. This is your time. You came here for an hour. For what? Yeah. You know, why are you here? And is it to get away? That's probably the perfect answer, because for me, that's what it was for. It was to get away for a second, where I could just be me, be healthy, and that's what happened. Like, I got into the best shape of my life. I did my first show, placed second, And, you know, I've been doing shows ever since. And, you know, now I train other people to do shows. And, you know, I've taken, you know, I've worked with a lot of people, and one client in particular, she just pops in my head all the time. But, you know, she came to me and, you know, she's like, I don't want like to be big, I don't want to be bulky, and I don't want a butt. And I was like, okay, girl. I don't know what any of this means, so let's just work out. And so, you know, like a year and a half later, you know, she went from like, you know, barely lifting, you know, much weight to now leg pressing 500. She's very petite, very, you know, still small, but now she's like toned. She has a nice little butt. She loves her butt. Like, it's like, you know, and to see that growth, that transition, the understanding, especially for women, that if you lift heavy, you're not gonna get big. You know, like, it's just a learning process, I think, too. And I like being able to give that education and, you know, debunk the myths out there of like lifting and, you know, getting bigger, you know, and getting bulky. You know, it's not, it doesn't go together. You gotta eat a lot to get bigger, like a lot. And so I guess that's pretty much how my journey went. I still use a lot of my science background with regards to not only nutrition, but then to training, because it's all science, it's all physics, you know. This is how the body works. It's very much science. So I still get to use that a little. Just a little.
So you're one part scientist,
yes,
sculptor,
yeah,
and a little something else that you haven't touched upon too much is the nutrition side. So you're also a chef.
Yes, I'm a plant-based chef. I studied here in Venice at Matthew Kinney Culinary, and I don't know what. Well, I started when another one of my jobs. I mean, I always have a lot of jobs, by the way.
I was going to ask you what your first job was at age 10.
A snowball stand.
What?
Yeah. So in Louisiana, we have like things called snowballs, and it's like ice. You know, like kind of like shaved ice, but it's like, it's not as crunchy and big as shaved ice. It's like snow, basically.
Oh.
And then you take like the syrup and put it on the snow, and it's like delicious. It's like the best thing because it's super hot.
When's
there.
the last time you had a snowball?
Oh my god, the last time you had a snowball, I'm gonna say maybe like 6 years ago. I think I need a snowball.
Yeah, if,
I'm gonna have
if
to,
only I could present you
I
one right
know
now.
that would be so, oh my god, that'd be amazing. I think I'm gonna have to have a snowball the next time I go. But that was my first job.
Please tag me if you post that. So
I
know.
absolutely will. With a snowball, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Like my favorite flavor, it was like cotton candy, our wedding cake. The wedding cake was clear, so if you spilled it, it wouldn't show. That's why I liked
Oh.
it. Right. Yeah.
There's so much flavor in your life. Okay, let's get back to
Random.
let's go back to your plant-based chef life.
Yes. So I started cooking for like studios and like, you know, like soul food because I'm from the South. So I started cooking like the richest, like mac and cheese, smothered chicken and stuff like that. And then, you know, they started requesting healthier stuff. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll do healthier. And then they started requesting like, oh, well, can this be more cut? Like he has a show coming up and he wants to be a little leaner. And I was like, okay. So I went back to my little program and figured it out. And so that's when I started doing customized meal preps for clients as well as meal plans. So that's how it kind of changed. And then when I would do shows, initially, I was eating 6 meals a day. That's a lot of meat because there's like meat in every single meal. And I would just feel so like, I don't know, heavy in a way. And so every time I would come off a show, I would go 2 months vegan. And during those 2 months, I just always felt so much like healthier, lighter, stronger. I would lift heavier, and I loved it. I mean, I love it. It's so creative, and I like that aspect. And you know, what's the health kind of helped with the whole vegan thing, because then everybody went vegan and wanted vegan meal plans. So that was great. But so yeah, I do like pop-up dinners, and I do like educational pop-ups, like how-to kind of like series, and then I also do private dinners. And now I can offer you know, a vegan approach or a plant-based approach to meal plans and meal prepping, which is pretty cool.
You seem so excited about everything you do.
It's fun.
I'd love to know what your process is to choosing your yes, to finding your path. You seem to have found many paths in this one life that you're loving.
I know. Let's see. I just kind of go with, how does it make me feel? If I feel good about it, if it's like a hell yes, then I'll do it. If it's a hell no, or even if it's like a yeah, no, probably shouldn't do it. But I feel like everything that I do is all connected. It's all about wellness. So I do feel like I'm in the same arena, so to speak. So it's just kind of like almost covering all the areas in the wellness. And I absolutely love it. Like, I love it. And even within the wellness aspect, I also started integrating, a meditative aspect, to my clients, and also journaling. So that's a big part of, I'll suggest that they journal when they have cravings to figure out what's going on, because there's always something more. Like, you can't just say, oh, I have a stressful day, I'm going to eat a donut. Why? There's a reason why.
Yeah.
And, we got to get to the root of the reason why, because then we can better fix the problem,
Yeah.
and then you're not associated to the guilt with it.
Yeah.
The guilt around food, it's just such bad energy.
Yeah.
So if we figure out why, we have these cravings, or why we need that comfort, because that, it's a sense of comfort too.
Yeah.
It's a sense of feeling it's okay, but we got to be able to figure that out for ourselves. All is well. Everything is okay. And I think once we figure that out, and we can say to ourselves, everything's okay. Like, all is well. This will be over soon. Like, nothing lasts forever. In the middle of something, though, you're like, oh my God, this is ain't healthy.
Yeah.
But it'll pass. You'll get better. You get stronger. But like, figuring out the underlying, reason of why, I think is so much better. That way, when you have the donut, you don't think twice about it. I'm eating the donut.
Yeah.
And it's not based in any kind of like compensation type thing, or like, there's no guilt surrounding it. You just eat the donut. And I'm good. I don't have any guilt about eating a donut. A vegan donut.
Okay, so snowballs, donuts, got it. We're going to dessert. You have such a strong, clear voice. The things you have to say, as well as how you say them. How did you come into this voice?
They're mostly things I tell myself.
Yeah, that's a cool technique.
So some of it is things I tell myself, because I need a reminder, just like anything. And then some of it is just my mom, things that she's told me, and things that I've heard. You hear a lot of things, and I think the things that stick is the thing that you really need it. Everything else is just noise. But if something really sticks and you repeated it, that's something you needed. And if you repeat it, I think that's something someone else needed, because it's just a transfer.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So you don't, I always get a message like, oh my God, your post really resonated with me. Then that was for you. And I came up with that for you, because this is what you needed. You needed to see it. And sometimes we get messages sent to us that way, and it's just up to us to notice it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your life has been a series of bold moves. What is a recent bold move you've made that's made your heart beat a little faster?
I would have to say I'm actually leaving soon, in about a week, for Italy for a month. And that has me a little nervous. I think, oh my God, I'm gonna leave my clients, or, what I'm gonna do, but I don't know, it's always something I've wanted to do. And to be immersed in, Italy particularly, I don't know why, I've always wanted to go there. And probably because my mom lived there. My mom lived in Italy for 3 years, and all she did was talk about it, and growing up. And so I've always grown up with this image in my head of Italy.
Wow.
And it's almost like, fantasy like. And so I'm gonna go there for a month, and
Have you been before?
I've never been.
You're just gonna go for a month.
I'm just gonna go for a month. And I'm gonna finish I have one more level of culinary school that I want to do, so I'm gonna finish that and then maybe teach classes at Barry's Milan as well, so this should be interesting. So I think that's right now, that's kind of got me a little like, oh my god, I can do this, you know. Every now and then I start to waver, but I know the wavering is kind of a fearful thing, and I can't like give any energy to it, so I try not to give energy. Just breathe deeply and toss it aside.
Do you have any techniques, any things you do to shift that energy?
There's a few things. I will take a nap. Because
Great technique.
when you nap, you reset. You know, momentum of whatever you're thinking, whether it's like negative or positive, will come to a stop, because, you know, and then only when we wake up and we restart it do we, you know, start it. So I try to wake up and start clean, or I'll meditate, or I'll just deep breaths, you know, a series of deep breaths for a while. It's always good, you know, or go work out, because it's the same thing. It's still meditative.
You have to breathe when you work out.
You gotta breathe. It's the same thing. Go work out. and that always like clears your mind, you know. Like you want the thoughts to just stop for a second, which is good. There's a technique that I read. I forget what book I read this in, but there's a technique too when you're, you know, breathing deeply and you have a lot of thoughts that are coming, is to ask yourself, which thought would I think next? Oh. And as soon as you ask yourself that, it goes quiet, right? Yeah. Did you just do it?
Yeah.
it goes quiet for that split second. Yeah. You got stillness.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I do that often.
That is really good.
Right?
Do you bring still moments to your clients?
I try to. You know, stillness is a personal thing, but I do try to create a space where they can find stillness, even if it's for a little bit for that day.
Yeah.
Because I think that's important.
It is. I have to ask, what is your superpower?
My superpower. Let's see. This is interesting. I mean, I guess my superpower would be being comfortable in any situation. You know, to be able to be yourself and be so okay with that, you can be thrown in any situation and you're good. I think that would be my superpower.
That is a very good superpower.
You know, because I'm usually any situation, I'm like, oh yeah, I can handle this. I'm good. Let's do it. You know, and you know, I think at this point in my life, I'm just so okay with who I am in this moment. I mean, I know there's growth to be had, and I'll welcome it. But in this moment, I'm good with who I am and where I am. And you know, people always say, you know, I mean, definitely I have goals and aspirations, but in this moment, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want people who work out with you to get? What is the superpower that you give them?
I would like to give them kind of like the same thing fitness gave me, that find your inner strength, you know, get connected again with your inner being and find that thing that ignites you, that powers you, you know, that drives you, because there's always something, a fire inside of us. And you know, it might not be the deadlifts, but while doing those deadlifts, you just thought about something that you needed to answer for a different project, and that's what it is, you know, giving you that opportunity to have that time to yourself so you can be you know, and grow with you. It's your time, and all I want them to do is have fun and you know, sweat. That'd be great. You know, you will sweat. But you know, take the time, and basically I just want to give them what it gave me, and that's just an hour to be you and to do you.
That's a great gift.
Yeah.
When did you know you were a teacher?
Oh wow. I a teacher? I don't. I guess when I would have to say varies. When I started teaching group fitness, you reach a larger audience there. But when I first started teaching this one class, the form was horrific. And I'm such a stickler for form, as you will hear. I would repeat it over and over again because I think if you know how to do something, you could do it anywhere instead of just watching all the time. And then your body will innately go there and do it the right way. But so form is always something I've been big on, and I think I've been there for a while, but it wasn't until recently that I was teaching one class, pretty regular class that I've had from the beginning, and I looked across and I was walking the room and I could walk the room in fixed form, and I looked at the room and I was like, there's nothing to do. And it was it just kind of dawned. It was everybody's on it today, and it was odd. It was nobody's form, and everything I called out, everybody just switched to it. It was huh. So it's okay. It's I guess I just twerk today. I don't know. Yeah, but and I guess in that moment, you really, that's 50 people that you taught proper form to. It's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, that's really amazing.
Yeah. And I literally, and I even had to post what an amazing class, because I was in awe by these, I was in awe. And everyone was on it. Even I think about everyone was on, the runs and everything were everybody was on it. It was crazy. I was I'm impressed, very inspired. It was after that I was I gotta go to the gym.
Did that ever happen again?
Yeah, it happens every now and then where you have a majority, but the whole class that was and to look across it and see people who did not have the proper form to begin with, and see how they change and see how their weights changed, and you see their bodies change. That's another thing, is their bodies change.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
And sometimes their bodies change and they didn't even notice. I got one guy who came to me, he was I want to show you a picture, don't show anyone, but this is what I looked like 6 months ago, and then I started taking your class, and this is what I looked like this morning, and I couldn't believe I had abs. And it was just I was oh my God, it's that's beautiful.
Yeah.
You don't realize what you do, and it's not I'm not a preacher kind of I'm not throwing out the quotes out there. I got my own little things, but they're not spiritual. You gotta work for this shit, girl. But you don't, I'm not pounding anyone on the head. You create a space where people can come in and do them for an hour, and you help them through it.
Yeah.
But you're not banging them on the head, and they change and they grow, and you see that, and you're okay, you don't think you're doing that, you don't think you're inspiring on that level, but then you do, and that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Wow. Other than that incredible thing you just said, what is your power move? What is the move that makes you feel powerful?
My power move, you need to take a nap. No. The thing that makes me feel powerful is I think just giving. I don't know, I tend to be a giver, and just giving advice or helping someone reach their goal, to me that empowers me too, as much as it empowers them, because you're happy, I'm happy, because it's just, that's the energy here. And I guess my power move would be to, I don't know, inspire.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for inspiring us.